Hello everyone. We are going to start with chapter of geography from our geography book Our Environment, chapter Life in the Desert. So, life in the desert. How the life people live in the desert area. A desert is a barren area of landscape where precipitation occurs and consequently living conditions are hostile. Yes, whenever we go to the desert area, we see there is a lot of humidity and hot. So now welcome to desert. So what is desert? Desert is an arid region characterized by extremely high or low temperature and has scarce vegetation. Vegetation is scarce there because lot of humidity and heat is there. Very low rainfall is there in desert. So now we come to the topic types of desert. What are the types of desert? There are two types of desert. The hot desert and another one is the cold desert. In this chapter, we will read about the hot and cold desert. Hot desert. Hot desert are found in tropical region. Example, Sahara Desert. Yes, Sahara is the world's largest desert and has an area of around 8.54 million square kilometer. The Sahara Desert touches 11 countries. Now, cold deserts. Cold deserts are found in high altitudes of the temperate region. For example, Ladakh. Yes, after reading the name Ladakh, a thing comes to your mind is Leh and the Ladakh. People used to go for seeing the scenic beauty of the place and for enjoying the weather and the climate. So, cold desert. Ladakh is a cold desert lying in the Great Himalayas on the eastern side of Jammu. Now, we will go to some brief description about Sahara Desert. Yes, you are seeing the picture that Sahara Desert. Camels are running there. These rocky surface, Sahara Desert climate is extremely very hot and past dry is there. The sky is cloudless and clear. The Sahara Desert touches 11 countries: Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali, Morocco, Niger, Sudan, Tunisia, and Western Sahara. So in the nights may be freezing cold with temperature near 0 degrees. Yeah, this is a very much good feature of the Sahara Desert, that in the night the temperature goes near about 0 degrees and nights are freezing cold. Now climate. Short rainy season, sky is cloudless and clear. Days are unbelievably hot. There is very scorching hot that people cannot survive in that hot. The temperature during the day may be soar as high as 50 degrees Celsius. In turns, radiant heat making everything hot. The heat makes the sand which is there in the desert makes such hot that people cannot walk there barefoot because the scorching heat makes the people unable to survive in the climate which people face in the Sahara Desert, because climate is extremely scorching hot and past dry. I have already told you. Short rainy season, as we have already studying from class 4th and 5th, that in desert there is very less rainfall. Rainfall is very less in Sahara Desert. So only and only heat is there which enables the people to survive. Now comes to the topic, what is the flora and fauna? Flora means the species of plants and fauna the species of animals. In Sahara Desert, vegetation includes cactus, date palms and acacia. In some places, there are oasis greens, date palms surrounding them. Occupation. What do the people do there? People among them are Bedouins and Tuaregs, who are nomadic tribes rearing livestock such as goats, sheep, camels and horses. These animals provide them with milk. Hides from each they make leather for belts. Yes, these animals provide them the milk from which they can earn their livelihood. These animals provide them milk and hides from which they make leather for belts, sleepers, water bottles. Hair is used for mats. The hair of the animals is used for making mats, carpets, clothes and blankets. They were very heavy robes as protection against dust storms and hot winds. So the people living there may do the occupation with the help of the animals. They wear heavy robes as protection against dust storms and hot winds. To protect themselves from hot winds, they used to wear heavy robes which protect them from dust storms. If the sand is there in the desert area, it usually flows in the air, which harms the people. You can see many camels there in this picture. The oases in the Sahara and the Nile Valley in Egypt support settled population. Since water is available, the people grow date palms. Crops such as rice, wheat, barley, and beans are also grown. In this area, the crops such as rice, wheat, barley grown. Now, welcome to Ladakh. Now we will read about something important and interesting about Ladakh. As you all know, Ladakh is a cold desert living in the Great Himalayas on the eastern side of Jammu and Kashmir. Several rivers flow through Ladakh, and among them Indus being the most important. This thing we have to keep in mind, that Indus is the main river, flows from there. Several glaciers, Ladakh, several rivers flow through Ladakh, Indus being the most important among them. Several glaciers are found in Ladakh. For example, the Gangotri Glacier. Yes, it is the most important glacier. And we are reading about the glacier which is found in Ladakh is Gangotri Glacier. The altitude of Ladakh varies about 3000 meters in Kargil to more than 8000 meters in the Karakoram. Due to its high altitude, the climate remains extremely cold and dry. Due to the high altitude, the reason of the Ladakh desert that so much of cold is there, the reason is that the high altitude is there, which makes the climate cold and dry. The day temperature in summer are just above 0 degrees. Only in summer the day temperature is 0 degree, but at night it is minus 30 degrees Celsius. Why there is extreme cold and dry? The air at this altitude is so thin that the heat of the sun can be felt intensely. Climate. Due to its, I have already told you, due to its high altitude, the climate is extremely cold and dry. High altitudes make the climate cold and dry. The air at this altitude is so thin that the heat of the sun can be felt intensely. The day temperature in summer are just above 0 degree, and the night temperatures are well below minus 30 degrees Celsius. So the temperature, as compared to the Sahara Desert, there is scorching dry heat, and in Ladakh there is extremely cold and dry wind because of the high altitude. Further, we are going to read about the flora and fauna and the people living in Ladakh desert and their occupation. Now comes to the topic flora and fauna. Due to high aridity, the vegetation is sparse. There are scanty patches of grasses and shrubs for animals to graze. Shrubs are there to help the animals to graze. Groves of willows and poplars are seen in the valleys. During the summers, fruit trees such as apples, apricots, and walnut blooms. Robin redstarts, Tibetan snowcock, raven, and the hoopie are sighted in Ladakh. Some of these are migratory birds. Migratory birds are those birds who travel to another place according to the climate and weather. The animals in Ladakh are wild goats, wild sheep, yak, and special kinds of dogs. Special kinds of dog because only the animals survive in this weather, those who can survive in the cold weather. The animals of Ladakh are wild goats, wild sheep, yak, and special kinds of dogs. The animals are reared to provide for the milk, meat, and hides. These animals provide the milk, meat, and hides. Now, we have discussed about the flora and fauna. As I have already told you, flora is the species of plants and fauna are the species of animals. So, the animals surviving here are the animals who survive in the cold area. Now, what is the occupation of people doing there? In the summer season, The people are busy in cultivating barley, potatoes, peas, beans, and turnip. You are very much familiar with all the vegetables. Potato is the vegetable which is used in our houses also. Beans and turnip. The climate in winter month is so harsh that people keep themselves engaged in festivities and ceremonies. The women are very hardworking. They work not only in the house and fields but also manage small businesses and shop. Anyone who is living in such deserts or such the hilly areas used to manage all the work. Tourism is a major activity with several tourists streaming in form with India and abroad. Life of people is undergoing changing due to modernization. As we all know that due to modernization, life is streaming of all the people. The people of Ladakh over the centuries learned to live in balance and harmony with the nature. Yes, all the peoples are very much familiar with the Ladakh because Ladakh is a scenic beauty to our eyes. Whenever we listen about the name Ladakh, we also feel that we must go to that place and enjoy the beauty and nature love of that place. You can see the costume of the people. This you can see in the diagram how the people wear the costume in Ladakh. Thank you very much. This is all about the chapter Life in the Desert.